City Council meeting in the City of Monessen, meeting to order. Could I have a roll call, please? Oh, one thing we need to talk about before we do that. We did hold an executive session meeting at 5:30 this evening. You want to try to clarify that? It's on.
And the mayor and council discussed personnel matters. You can see it on your agenda what they were related to. Employment issues with the recreation board, in the civic center, the deputy treasurer position that is vacant, and an assistant code enforcement officer.
Okay, roll call, please.
Councilman Wojciechowski. Here. Councilperson Thomas.
Here.
Councilman Nestor.
Present.
Councilman Gregor.
Here.
Mayor Moser.
Present. Pastor Silver is not here. Lois, I call him. Would you please lead us in prayer?
You bow your head just for a moment of prayer. Heavenly Father, we just thank you, Lord, for this day, for this opportunity just to come together for the work of the city. I pray that you continue to bind us all together on one accord, that we may give us the wisdom, knowledge, understanding, do what is best for not only the city, but the residents also. So we just thank you for your many blessings and that your will be done today and always, and all God's people say, amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I do believe we have still an issue with our meeting minutes. We had a volunteer with the city, and she's been unable to help us the last couple of times, so we're running behind on that. We will try to do our best to get caught up.
Absolutely. We do have minutes for the July 14th session
Okay.
to be approved. The July 28th session and the August 11th session will be approved at the next week.
Okay.
Are the mics on?
They should be. You hear? I can turn it down.
Is that my voice?
It's on too.
Yes.
How you doing, dear?
Yeah.
Okay. So we need two motions.
Mayor, motion to approve minutes of the previous session of July 14th, 2022.
There won't be the motion was amended.
Is there a second?
I'll
second. Any questions? Call the roll, please.
Councilperson Thomas.
Yes.
Councilman Nestor.
Aye.
Councilman Gregor.
Aye.
Councilman Wojciechowski.
Yes.
Mayor Moser.
Yes. At this time, I'd like to open the floor for public comment on agenda items only. Just stand over, no, you don't have to be that close.
Hello? Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes.
Okay. I have a couple questions. One, whenever there was a case with the 6th Street, you called it, you called Bandit.
Go ahead.
Okay.
As soon as he gets close to it.
Maybe you're the problem.
No.
You don't like your army.
But anyway,
Yeah, hold close.
well, I'm going to talk on it.
Just stand in front of it, you'll be fine.
How about now?
Yeah.
You can hear me?
Yes, I see you on the TV.
Okay. Whenever there's a problem like 6th Street, and then, who is that, Monarch Construction or contractor, he came and gave you a bill for $5,000. And then I noticed that there was another bill for $4,800. This was 10 days ago. And it said 6th Street and 8th Street, total $4,800. But it has no details. You people just accept totals with a label and no details of what was involved to earn that money from the taxpayers of Monessen?
First off, I'm unaware of the bill for $4,800. I don't, that can't be from Warnack as well.
No, it wasn't. It was from Vital.
Okay.
But he just put in 6th Street and then 8th Street, and there was no details. It was just labels And it figured 4,800. So how did that, gets through, council? You guys just pay it because you know Vitel? I mean, what's
No,
going
no,
on?
absolutely not. First off, we do require, even in Vitel, some detailed information, how many hours are spent doing exactly what. That's one of the things I've made a request of him for. The $5,000 for Warnack to do the problem that we had, the emergency repair on Schooner at 8th Street.
Yeah, I'm not disputing that.
Well, we're actually putting a hold on that as well. We're
Yeah.
gonna hold that check.
Oh,
That has since broke again, so we're
Ah.
gonna ask him to go back and
that's
repair that
good.
again.
I'm glad you're on. But I hope they put details, because what I saw, it was just 6th Street and 8th Street and the figure.
I tend to agree with you, and I will make an issue of that again. I've done this before, I'll do it again.
Okay. Hey, and I have one other comment. I know how you people have promoted, you set it a precedent. The school board does it, you people do it. When you get all these bills that you're gonna pay, then you always refer that it's written over there, okay? School board does the same thing. It's like in a binder or something. And that's disingenuous. That's like going to get your COVID shots, and they don't tell you all
Okay,
the
wait a second. now.
28
Wait a
stuff.
second, first off, I do believe that over there is copies that for take home, that you're welcome to take a copy.
But there's
with
only
you.
one big copy of all the things.
No, that's individual.
Is it individual?
Yeah.
What, the whole section A?
We can make you a copy.
And we'll be
I'd
more
be
happy to make more
Okay.
copies.
Yes.
That's not right.
I'm just saying that this precedent of
No, it's
like
not.
throwing the details off the mainstream radar, okay?
No, we're not doing that. They're
Okay,
saying we're
all
not
right,
taking
I'm just asking. I know the school board's notorious for that.
We're not.
Yeah, and then it's like getting the COVID shots and then telling you the 40 side effects, and they go ahead and give it to you.
The bills.
Ernie, I've worked very, and along with this council, very hard to be so transparent, you run into the window.
I asked questions. I didn't jump on anybody's name.
I'm just
Okay.
saying,
Okay,
it's-
that's all I was
everything is
doing.
over there.
Don't be defensive.
I'm just saying that it's
All
there.
right, fine.
Thank you.
Just interject one thing there, and this may help Ernie. I notice you do all the bills, right? Do you just do a list of the bills and the amounts and who they went to?
Yes, for the general, all the different accounts.
Yes, you do, there's a list over there, just a list.
It's in your packet.
It's,
isn't it?
yeah,
And it's-
but it's there.
It's over there.
It's the exact same thing
See,
that's in
it's
our
over
packet.
there.
So Ernie, you can go look through the packet, and
Can I
there's a
keep
list.
it? They said I could
Yes.
keep one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or make you another copy, Ernie. They've been asking me to limit paper use too a bit here because I've been,
Well, I thought you guys
Single-sided.
went to Staples and bought all this
Right.
paper. You didn't do that?
no.
Okay, let's move on.
Thank
Anybody
you.
else have any comments on agenda items? This time I'd like to ask, does anybody have any correspondence that we need to discuss? Okay, report from our solicitor.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everybody. First item I'd like to discuss is the tax forgiveness program. That ordinance is drafted. It's on tonight's agenda for the first reading and advertising. As discussed previously, there will be a committee involved, 2 members from the school district, 3 members from the city, administration or elected officials. There will be an application process. There will be an application fee. Right now it's at $500. There is going to be significant administration of this program, both from the city's administration as well as the code enforcement officer to make sure these properties are being brought up to code and are occupiable. Right now, the requirement will be any applicant will have to spend at least, at a minimum, 50% of the delinquent taxes on the property. Now, I'm going to caveat that, there is going to be a committee. They may see some recommendations on how this program should be operated. The ordinance does give the city the ability to change those requirements through a resolution. So the ordinance doesn't have to get advertised again. And there will also be an agreement that's going to hold these applicants to what they're required to do through the program. That's the overview. I think we put the ordinance on the city website for everybody to take a look at. Still need to draft the agreement and everything along that nature. Just want to make sure this is moving forward. So It'll be up for adoption unless there's any significant changes at the second meeting in August. The school board has already appointed their 2 members, and the city will have to do the same at an upcoming meeting. The second item is the zoning ordinance. The planning commission is nearing making a decision to recommend it to city council. We're going to schedule the next meeting. It's supposed to be August 18th. We need to make sure it's properly noticed for everybody. The next step in the process, that it will come before council for a public hearing. That's going to require the city to advertise that once a week for 2 weeks. There'll be copies of the zoning ordinance here in City Hall for people to pick up and review if they choose to. It'll also be available on the website. So that will be likely in September or October, the target date to get that in. And finally, the USDA sewage project. Last meeting, I talked about the engineers were working with the USDA engineers to come up with some storage provisions. Those have been completed. It's been submitted to the USDA. As of today, they said it's going to take 2 to 3 weeks to even begin the review process. But the target bidding is for October, and the project will start ideally in spring. That's all I have for this evening.
Thank you. At this time, does our city treasurer have anything he'd like to report on?
Yes, I do, Mayor.
All right.
I have 2 comments to make before I give my report. First of all, the school taxes have been mailed out on August 1st, and we sent out approximately 4,700 mailings. And everything is up to date as of now, including all the ones that we had issues with. They were resolved. Also, we prepared the delinquent garbage report for Westmoreland County annual tax sale. We have had approximately 130 properties. The amount of the delinquent taxes on these properties is $35,000. That will be sent out this week. On my report for the month, garbage fees and city real estate taxes collected. Garbage fees current, $2,840. Year to date, $318,536.51. Budget amount, $370,000. Garbage fees delinquent from also from Portnoy, $27,682.19. Portnoy will receive $10,720.19. Year to date, delinquent $70,974.79. Portnoy will receive $20,671.05. Budgeted amount $120,000. Interest and penalties received from Portnoy $1,164.38. Garbage fees, Housing Authority, quarterly, we received nothing this period. Year to date, $15,258.75. Total budget amount for the year is $490,000. Garbage fees collected for 2023. We received $25 this month. Year to date, $820. The budget amount for the year was $147,834. City real estate taxes. City real estate taxes current. July, we received $31,636.71. Year to date, $1,959,059.60. 2022 budget amount for city real estate taxes. The general fund will receive $1,452,449. Debt service fund will receive $394,229. The parks fund will receive $199,052, and the library fund will receive $42,135 for a total of $2,087,865. Delinquent city taxes collected. Prior year collected by the city, nothing this quarter. Year to date, $5,502.96. Budgeted amount for 2022, $9,000. City taxes collected by Portnoy, nothing this period and nothing year to date. City taxes collected by Westmoreland County, nothing this period. Year to date, $117,227.56. Budgeted amount, $210,000. Tax Claim Bureau quarterly, Total year-to-date taxes, $2,081,790.12. The following is the distribution of the city real estate tax distribution. General fund received $1,311,975.76 as of May 31st, 2022. This will be updated as soon as possible. Debt service fund received $356,101.47. Parks fund received $179,800.61. The library fund received $38,059.98 for a total of $1,885,937.82. City real estate transfer tax. July received $9,818.76. Year-to-date, $64,205.85. Budget amount, $70,000. Earned income tax, July we received $30,265.27. Year-to-date, $351,287,287.29. Budget amount, $600,000. Mercantile tax, received in July, $3,571.11. Year-to-date, $16,303.10. Budget amount, $29,000. Local service tax, we received $561.57 this month. Year-to-date, $34,114.86. Budget amount, $75,000. Tax certification letters. This month we received $1,420. Year-to-date, $16,830. Budget amount, $23,000. Municipal lien letters. This month we received $900. Year-to-date, $10,725. Budget amount, $16,000. Line usage fees, we received nothing this month so far. Year-to-date, $12,780. That was the payments, I'm sorry. Line unsecured payments for line usage account. Line usage fees, we received this month $87,180.01. Year-to-date, $488,024.04. And the total for the year for both accounts, the unsecured payments and the line usage fee, we received $500,804.04. Mayor, that concludes my report. I need to vote on this, please.
Mayor, motion to accept the garbage fees and city real estate tax collected of the month of July from the treasurer's report.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? Call the roll, please.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Councilperson Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Nestor?
Aye.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Mayor motion.
All right. Our city controller is unable to attend tonight, and my prayers go out to her. She apparently injured her ankle or her leg and is not so easily moved around at this point. So she will be back in 2 weeks, and we'll get the city controller report at that time. Let's see, you got several things here. I'd like to ask somebody to make motions for me for several things.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to make a motion to approve payment application number 1 for the sewer rehabilitation project phase 4, bond 2021-22, and recommend an approved payment to the contractor, Reynolds Brothers, Inc., in an amount of $497,715.80. WEC Consulting Engineers will be submitting this payment application number 1 to Penvest on August 12, 2022.
Could I have a second?
Second, Mayor.
Are there any questions? This is the first big payment that we've been hit with for phase 4. There's only going to be 2 or 3 more of these. They're moving quite rapidly, and we'll be starting on phase 3 soon.
Is that the one for down on Shawnee? Is this payment for the one they're working right currently now down on Shawnee?
Yes, it is.
And then they'll be moving to 9th next, or the other side?
I believe Delaware is next.
Delaware and then-
Okay. Call the roll.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Councilman Nestor?
Aye.
Councilperson Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Mayor motion.
Aye.
I can make a motion to approve requisition number 4, sewer rehabilitation project phase 3, for unpaid invoice number 11 submitted to the city of Monessen for this project by WEC Consulting Engineers in the amount of $6,629.53 and forwarded to the United States Department of Agriculture, Rural Utilities for payment.
Could I have a second?
Second, Mayor.
Any questions? Call the roll, please.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Councilman Nestor?
Aye.
Councilperson Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Mayor motion.
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve sewer rehabilitation project Phase 4, Penvest, payment request number 5 to WEC Consulting Engineers in the amount of $14,637.63. WEC Consulting Engineers will be submitting this payment request to Penvest on August 12, 2022.
Could I have a second?
Second, Mayor.
Any questions? Call the roll, please.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Councilperson Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Councilman Nestor?
Aye.
Mayor motion.
I'd like to make a motion to purchase bellwether purchasing software and 10 user licenses at the price of $2,175.
Should we shut that off?
Here.
This includes training and a money-back guarantee if not satisfied with the operation and utilization of the product.
Could I have a second?
Second, Mayor.
Are there any questions?
Could you explain that one more time?
What this is a piece of software that is cloud-based that will be work on cell phones and smartphones in particular, whereby people within the city that need equipment, services, or whatever, can enter in a requisition, include quotes, descriptions, and so forth. It automatically traverses from there to the department head and eventually to the CFO of the company. And once it's approved by all those people, then it goes to the purchasing office and D'Amico will issue a purchase order. But primarily, it's a method for keeping track of all the orders that we're placing and being able to account for them.
Thank you.
Call the roll, please.
Councilperson Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Nestor?
Aye.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Mayor motion.
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the first reading of the tax exoneration ordinance and approval of its required and proper advertisement and publication by City Council.
Could I have a second?
Second, Mayor.
Is there any questions? Call the roll.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Councilperson Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Councilman Nestor?
Aye.
Mayor motion.
Aye. At this point, I'd kind of like to take over for just a second here. Last 2 weeks ago, we had our city audit done, and it showed basically that we owed $500,000 plus or minus in money that is owed from the general fund to the line usage fund. And that's a big concern to the city. That's $500,000 that comes away from what things that we need to do as a city, everything from mowing lawns to whatever the case may be. So it's critical we understand this. I went so far as to go across the way, go through the files, and pull all the bank statements from 2010 through current, and went through every single check that had been written against the line usage money, and looked at every single expenditure, every single deposit. It became very interesting to me that first off, my $500,000 came out a little closer to $500,000 where they were shy of $50,000.
Can we shut that off?
That's pretty bad. I apologize. But the point being is my numbers don't come up the same numbers as the auditor does. So what I've done is I've asked the auditors, and that's going to be the next motion, to come in and do a more detailed, more accurate appraisal of what's going on with this. I think that there's been many administrations in the past that have pulled money out of the line usage fund and used it for things that were not necessarily appropriate. But by the same token, there's many expenses that have been done to the general fund that could have been done to the line usage. As an example, every time we run our street sweeper through the streets, that is to protect our storm drains. That is required by DEP that we do that. That money, the cost to operate that, the labor that costs to do it, that can be considered credit from the general fund to the line usage. The same is true with the back truck, and you may even remember that earlier this year, we approved a $13,000 payment to fix the back truck. That money can be credited back to the line usage. If you add all this up over the years, and in fact, I went to the streets department, and they were kind enough to provide me with logs going back from 2015 of every time that they ran the street sweeper, where they did it, and how many miles they did, and so forth. And the time cards show how much time they spent doing that there is very real money that the city has spent doing these things that can be considered credit towards the line usage. I estimated those, and it comes out very close to the $500,000 that we have going. The point that I'm trying to make here is it's absolutely critical that we have an auditor come in and do a detailed, specific audit on all aspects of the line usage account. We've requested that of Cipher and Cipher. They were the ones that determined that there was an issue. They are in the process of preparing a quote for us, but that's the next motion here that we have here. So just go ahead and make that, please.
I'd like to make a motion to move forward with the continuation of audit functions with the auditing firm of Cipher and Cipher, with the specific objective to audit in a forensic manner accounts relative to line usage and any additional accounts and expenditures within the budgetary or financial structure of the city of Monessen, focusing on the proper disposition or utilization of funds.
Is there a second?
Can you back log the debt? Can you ask that money back to be taken from the line to sewage?
We're not going to end up where they owe us money.
No.
No. There is perhaps an issue here, but can we go ahead and complete the motion? The problem is we don't have a number to associate with this auditing, this particular audit. They were supposed to get it to us, but Steve, the owner of the company, I think he did our audit, took a vacation. I think he figured he needed one.
The only thing I can recommend is at a price not to exceed at this point. So if you have a ballpark on how much you think it's gonna cost, you can put that in the motion.
Can we just table this until we actually get an estimate?
We can.
I don't feel comfortable doing this until we have a actual cost, because we could say it's 3,000, it could be 10,000. I don't feel comfortable doing it.
Okay, well, we're going to table this motion then. Can I have a motion to table it?
I'll make a motion to table this.
Second, Mayor.
Okay, we'd like to make a motion to pay invoice to the Mon Valley Sewage Authority in an amount of $196 for laboratory tests conducted at the building at 500 Donner Avenue.
Is there a second?
Second, Mayor.
Any questions? Call the roll, please.
Councilman Nestor,
Aye.
Councilman Gregor,
Aye.
Councilperson Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Orchakowski,
Yes.
Mayor Moser.
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the purchase and placement of a handicap parking space for city resident George McGrew of 420 Motherwell Avenue, Monessen, PA 15062.
Could I have a second?
Second, Mayor.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Councilman Gregor,
Aye.
Councilperson Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Orchakowski,
Yes.
Councilman Nestor,
Aye.
Mayor Moser.
Aye. So, maybe you ought to lead this discussion on the Ninth Street Park. And are you familiar with all the bids and so forth and where we're going with this, or do you want me to try to fill?
I just know we're moving towards the Monessen bid, correct?
Right. So as everybody may remember, we had a discussion several months ago about the CDBG budget. We moved some money around in order to fund the improvements at Ninth Street Park, Civic Center, and other places. The bottom line is, I think we budgeted $90,000 for that park. the estimate that we got in, the bid that we got in, it went out for bid, came out to something in the neighborhood of $87,000, just $3,000 shy of the bid, which one would normally say, yeah, here we got it. Howsoever, it's also become clear that the shade should be provided at that park, both down by the basketball court and up at the top. There are people that may have concerns with that, but that could, in fact, raise this to maybe just a little bit over $90,000, maybe by a couple $1,000s. There have been people that have volunteered or offered to chip in, including some anonymous donations that were made to the Parks Department, including the improved 11th Order of the Knights, the OK Club in 10th and Knox. I do think that we can get enough donations to make up that couple $1,000s if that comes to be. And I think that's the whole point of this, that it's my recommendation that we continue forward with that project based upon the bids that we got. The bid for the payment of the walking path, I think it was a walking path that came in so much higher than what we expected.
It was actually the paving of the courts.
Of the courts. The paving cost came up to be about 2 or 3 times what we expected it to be. And that's what drove the price of the response up as high as it did. But still, we've already authorized going forward with that project in a previous meeting. And that's, the discussion was just simply to let people know that we are going to need some donations if we want water throughout that park. And that's just something we're going to have to do.
Do we have any estimates on the cost of adding the water to the park?
Now it's about $4,000, which means
it's
we need
under
$2,000
five, yeah.
more.
Okay, how long,
There's
where would we be running the water to? How far is it going into the courts?
Well, I think some of the original thing was that we were talking about running water from up by the pavilion down, all the way down to the court, not at the court, but close to the trees that are down there. The point being is, based upon what you talked to the water company, there may be some reduction in costs that we can get. The streets department may be able to rent a ditch witcher and lay it down there. We can get people like Buzzy to tie it in. We can maybe save a lot of money on this project.
It was, right in the entrance there. But I think they said something like something doesn't exist anymore.
There was some issues.
Yeah, but there was, right when you came in.
It needs to
Wasn't
be
there an estimate like $13,000 for the water cost?
No, it was under 5.
It was under 5, yeah, but we just didn't have.
Yeah, they still wanted the fountain, but they wanted a location of just basically like a spigot where you can attach a
A hose
hose.
bed.
Right, that's what they're looking for, because they want to line the walkway going up the side of the park with a few shade trees. And so they needed to be able to take their hoses all the way up to hose the trees until they took root.
Okay. Somebody added some discussion items here. We do have a serious problem with rodents. We've got a lot of blighted property, and the only way we're going to solve this problem is to get rid of the blighted property in a big way. But in the meantime, we do have a problem where there are people that live close to wooded areas that have lots of varmints, rodents, rats, whatever you want to call it, that are pests. I know I've had that problem in my very house. I've hired an exterminator to set traps up around. The point being that this is not unusual. It's throughout the town. And it's something that City Council is eventually going to have to figure out a way to address. I'm not advocating that we do anything at this time other than ask residents to do what they can to do things. There are traps, there are various mechanisms that you can put out for these things. Okay?
Mayor, on that note, this came, it always has come before council, but council also looked at this back in 2019, somewhere around there, a little bit after, and we had traps put out, and it was one big section.
They worked.
They worked.
The
They worked
black,
real well.
the black boxes that actually have just an opening. They work.
That's what I got in my house.
Yeah, they work.
They work, they do, they
So-
know that.
So, but for the places where people aren't living, that's where we put the boxes at. Now, if people on their own want to put them around their houses, that's different, but what about the places where people are living where the rats are going by? Is that something that we can take care of as they did before?
The problem, as everybody's well aware of, is we're really trying to evaluate where we are with our money right now. And I would be afraid to go there. That's something Tony might want to talk about.
Those boxes are not cheap.
They're not
So how
cheap.
much are they?
Well,
We spent $300 at our house.
well,
How
we
many?
had the exterminator come out, and they set out a ton of them. I think that's something, regardless of what it needs, of a cost, we need to do that for the city and get a handle on this. I mean, it went down pretty quick once we did it. I mean, after a month, they really took care of the situation.
I think even we gave out the blue poison where they had to sign out paper. Yeah, and then they'll do it.
Well, we didn't do it for a couple of reasons. One, the poison could get in the hands of a child that's maybe in the backyard, he gets kicked in there. Two, as much as you don't like rats and everything, it's be very inhumane. And three, and this was the biggest thing, is that the next door neighbor could have a dog and a cat and come over and get a hold of it, and we didn't want that to happen. So we made sure, under any circumstances, the city's not doing any of those kind of, exterminating, right, we did the boxes.
Maybe if you would please, look at things and figure out, since you have some prior experience with this, maybe make a motion for the next 2 weeks from now to fund something along those lines.
Oh, sure.
Okay, thank you.
I'd like to make a motion to approve an increase in salary to Julia Napier as Director of the Monessen Civic Center to $14 per hour, limited to 29 hours per week.
Is there a second?
Second, Mayor.
Any questions? Call the roll, please.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Councilman Nestor?
Aye.
Councilperson Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Mayor motion.
Yes. I'd like to modify this next motion here. We're talking about our deputy treasurer. This is something that everybody's well aware of, that we need in the worst kind of a way. We've interviewed a young lady, which impressed me quite well, but by the same token, we still need to get some additional information from her. We need to get commitment from her. There's lots of different things. I'd like to amend this motion to hire Alicia Wyatt as deputy treasurer at a rate of $14 an hour, pending an appropriate resume, interview, and a background check in accordance with the ASME agreement of the city of Monessen.
Second, Mayor.
Any
What's
discussion?
her name? Alicia?
Alicia Wyatt, W-I-A-N-T, I believe.
Wyatt.
Wyatt, okay. So, any other discussion? Call the roll, please.
Councilperson Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Councilman Nestor?
Aye.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Mayor motion.
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion
I'd
to.
also like to, excuse me,
Oh,
just a
you
second.
reading that?
I would
Okay, go
like to
ahead.
do this one too, because I need to make a slight amendment to the motion. It needs to be a motion to approve the hiring of part-time code enforcement officer Lloyd Alden, wow. At a salary of $14 per hour, limited to 29 hours per week or less, as determined by the Director of Code Enforcement.
Second, Mayor.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Councilman Nestor?
Aye.
Councilperson Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Mayor motion.
Aye.
Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to turn over to Councilman Orchakowski.
Thank you, Mayor. Before I make this first motion, for those of you, there is a typo on the total on the bill sheet for the general account. It states $199,428.06. It should read $89,428.06. just so you know. Which reflects in a motion to pay the following invoices from the general fund in the amount of $89,428.06. All invoices are attached to the agenda as attachment A.
Could I have a second?
Second, Mayor.
Any questions? Call the roll, please.
Councilperson Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Nestor,
Aye.
Councilman Gregor,
Aye.
Councilman Orchakowski,
Yes.
Mayor Moser.
Aye.
I do want to mention, and it's hopefully worth mentioning, is the $100,000 difference. If you see, it's still sitting on there under Huntington National Bank for $178,379. That is the balance of our MMO for 2022. There's roughly $150,000 to $160,000 that comes in from the state as help coming in September or October, somewhere in that time frame. So barring any difference that we don't get the money from the state, and we always do, we will be able to fulfill and pay the MMO this year.
Excellent.
It will be paid off.
That's great news.
Make a motion to pay the following invoices from the recreational account in the amount of $348.73. All invoices are attached to this agenda as attachment B.
Could I have a second?
Second, Mayor.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Councilperson Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Orchakowski,
Yes.
Councilman Gregor,
Aye.
Councilman Nestor,
Aye.
Mayor Moser.
Aye.
Motion to pay the following invoices from the Parks Fund in the amount of $1,627.13. All invoices are attached to this agenda as attachment C.
Is there a second?
Second, Mayor.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Councilman Gregor,
Aye.
Councilman Nestor,
Aye.
Councilperson Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Orchakowski,
Yes.
Mayor Moser.
Aye.
Make a motion to pay the following invoices from Liquid Fuels Fund in the amount of $3,728.24. All invoices are attached to this agenda as attachment D.
Is there a second?
Second, Mayor.
Call the roll. Or any questions? Call the roll.
Councilman Nestor,
Aye.
Councilman Gregor,
Aye.
Councilperson Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Orchakowski,
Yes.
Mayor Moser.
Yes.
Motion to pay the following invoices from the Line Usage Fund in the amount of $15,790. All invoices are attached to this agenda as attachment E.
Is there a second?
Second, Mayor.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Councilman Gregor,
Aye.
Councilman Nestor,
Aye.
Councilperson Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Orchakowski,
Yes.
Mayor Moser.
Yes.
I make a motion to transfer $65,129.68 from the general fund to the payroll account fund.
Is there a second?
Second, Mayor.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Councilman Gregor,
Aye.
Councilperson Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Orchakowski,
Yes.
Councilman Nestor,
Aye.
Mayor Moser.
Aye.
Make a motion to transfer $3,000 from the general account to the healthcare account.
Is there a second?
Second, Mayor.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Councilperson Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Orchakowski,
Yes.
Councilman Gregor,
Aye.
Councilman Nestor,
Aye.
Mayor Moser.
Yes.
Make a motion to allocate $750 into the newly created and specifically delineated garbage account fund from the currently designated garbage account within the general account framework. Oh, that's a mouthful.
Is there a second?
Second, Mayor.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Councilperson Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Orchakowski,
Yes.
Councilman Nestor,
Aye.
Councilman Gregor,
Aye.
Mayor Moser.
Aye.
These are the following balances. Fire escrow has $18,410.99. The general fund has $950,160.97. Payroll has $6,722.08. The grant fund has $59,440.41. Debt service has $598,854.37. Parks has $83,047.29. Line usage has $434,546.80. Healthcare has $5,582.54. The county tax collector has a whopping $3.58. I'm not sure why that's even there. Our art money is $44,217.81. Penn Best has $325,053.75. Recreation Board has $2,168.27. The refuge will hopefully have $750 transferred into it. The rehab account has $4,028.26. The SPC General Fund has $496.97. And the Small Communities Pet Program has $182.56. And that's my report, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilwoman Thomas, would you like to give us your streets and public improvements report?
Yes, I'll read it tonight, and then I'll just read it again, just for those who may not be at the next meeting also. But our Streets Department report for July 2022, they empty garbage twice a week downtown and throughout the city, cold patch several streets, answered 30 PA1 calls, cut the city lots, pulled weeds from flower beds throughout town, set up for all the events throughout the month of July, cleaned boat launch bathrooms weekly, the Vector truck got repaired. They took the sweeper out when they weren't able to cut grass, and they helped the Parks Department as needed.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Gregor, would you like to give us your reports on the parks and public property?
Yes, we can do that. Parks Department report for July 2022. They cut the city parks and ball fields, got pavilions ready for events, and helped the street department as needed, and that is the end of my report.
Thank you, sir. Did I skip John? Oh, my goodness.
It happened.
Councilman Nestor, would you please give us your public?
Thank you, Honorable Mayor, members of council, administrative staff, and citizens of Monessen. I'll just give my report at the following meeting. Also, I want to say, I had time to look at our audit. I truly want to say thank you to the late great Councilman Ron Trevelli to implement his austerity programs to help us to get from 2016 to 2019 into his passing. Councilman Thomas got on. I want to thank Councilman Olachowski too for following the same measures and approach to the finances. So thank you, Mayor. I greatly appreciate it.
You know, I want to add one little thing to that too, and I was perhaps misunderstood when I talked last time. But Ron Carvelli was an amazing man. He was the first one to understand that money was being spent out of the general fund that really should be attributed to the line usage fund. And he made comment of that in the council meeting minutes, which is gave the whole idea of pursuing this use of the street sweeper and the back truck and so forth. It really goes back to him. So thank you. Thank you.
No, thank you, Mayor. I yield the floor. Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to open the floor to public comment on anything you'd like to talk about. Nothing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mayor, you mentioned that you went back and did some research on line usage.
Yes, sir.
You went back, what, to 2000?
2010. And I think that it was first implemented in 2009, and I never did find those records. I'm sure they're over there somewhere.
Cipher and Cipher, how far back did they go?
They only went back to the audits that they had in their possession, which was 2015. So I went back much further.
Well, to me then, well, of course, the question comes up, why? And also, if you had the determination to search this out, and Cipher, it sounds like they were sort of lackadaisical.
No, I don't think that's it at all. I think that there's been many different audits done by different companies.
Why not another, why not, as a check on Cipher and Cipher, why not another audit company?
Cipher and Cipher's job wasn't to go back to look
Okay,
at
I
all those
understand that.
books. It was just to audit last year's books. That's what was
Okay,
required by law.
I understand.
It's a different scope of services to go back and look at this one specific account.
The number that they came up with that they produced in our report was a carryover number that they'd received from the previous year. As you recall. we
I wouldn't
had-
trust the previous year if I was in the company.
Well, but it tends to roll over from year to year to year, and that's just the way that books work. You don't start over a new city every year.
Well, you know, when you have this is a stupid, what would I call it? Thank you. In an operating room, there's the main surgeon and there's the assistant. The assistant checks the main surgeon sometimes. Cipher maybe needs to check. Maybe you need another firm, just as a check.
We could, but I don't think that really would change the numbers any at all, to be real honest with you. I think that any audit company, I've yet to find an audit company that wasn't a reputable audit company that stays in business.
How many times in the past would the same company use?
Cipher and Cipher? I didn't count them, but I went back many years and it's been used by many administrations over the years, intermixed with other people.
Maybe there should be a change.
Possibly, but they probably are not the most prevalent either.
Another question I had on here. Why does the city need a part-time code enforcement officer when you have don't you have a full-time code?
We do, and the problem is, there's more work to do up there than he can keep track of. He's actually running behind on a lot of things. For one, and for two, we're not asking for many things. It's just as auxiliary to help as he needs help from day to day. It's limited to 29 hours, but I don't expect it to be anywhere close to that, to be honest.
So he may not work 29 hours.
No, he may not work 29 hours.
I think it says or less.
Yeah, well, that is, yeah.
Finally, could I make a suggestion that this will probably not go over too well? If one would consider town hall meetings, and I imagine there's a lot of citizens and a lot of council members would like to say something about their administration. So if we went back 3 administrations, Mr. Mavrakis, Mr. Shara, and yours, and each administration, would invite its council members and the mayor, and you have a town hall, and if there were burning questions on the citizens' minds about, well, why did you not pay back that line usage fund? What did you do that you didn't do that when you had a legal time frame to pay that? Just general question. There has to be people in this town that have looked back maybe many administrations. And so we won't go back many administrations. We'll go back 2 and the present. And we'll rent a hall like the Fireman's Hall, and we'll advertise it in the paper, and we'll say, interested citizens, any question you have, come to this town hall meeting.
Well, it sounds pretty good and so forth. I don't know if that would ever gain traction. It sounded a little bit like a witch hunt when you were describing the questions you were doing.
Well, I would think a lot of citizens have a lot of questions about the past 2, past 3, past 4
It would, but
administrations.
the bottom line is, and I've advocated this since day number 1, that what is done is done. And we've got to understand how we got there, but by the same token, we got to keep looking forward.
No, that's in federal government. If the generals and the president learned their lesson from the Korean War, maybe there wouldn't have been a Vietnam War.
It's not to say we don't understand our history, but it's pretty clear too.
Well, you also have to learn from history also.
You have to understand that when push comes to shove and people need to make payroll and stuff, they'll do things that perhaps they shouldn't have done. And I've looked back and I've seen what has been done. This money wasn't stolen. It's not missing. The money was used mostly for payroll and for other bills for the city of Monessen. The problem has been, and the mayor brought this up, I don't think there's been a really good accounting of the fact that a lot of that line usage money could have been used for payroll, because, say, Mr. Heppel over there took out the Vector truck, and he spent 2 or 3 days cleaning out catch basins and stuff. That money can be used for that, but it was never legitimately transferred.
It's a problem with going through the city council, being public transparent.
Yeah, and that's where the issue lies, as far as I'm concerned. And he was right about Mr. Charvelli. Mr. Charvelli came up with a plan, because he realized that $239,000 had been taken and spent elsewhere, and that money we needed to correct that. He actually had planned on setting up a Plickett account in 2018, in the spring of 2018.
Well, why is this,
Well, he passed away.
What you're saying, why isn't this,
It's not like someone stole the money.
I'm not talking about stolen money, I'm talking about an informed public.
Well,
Now,
that's what
you
we're
just
trying to
told
do
me-
now.
What you just told me, who knows that in
Right,
Monessen?
well, I think that that's the reason why we want an audit, so we can understand what the true amount that we owe is, and we'll all understand how we got there. We'll also understand,
Well, what did this past audit, what was it for?
this past audit was a general audit over the entire finances of the city.
And then this coming?
This one will be strictly on the line usage fund.
Okay, and this upcoming audit?
That's what I'm talking about, will be strictly on the line usage fund.
Thank you.
Anybody else have anything they'd like to say?
I just have one question. On this new program that's coming through, as far as for a PO number and everything, if you start a job and you don't complete the job, and you have to go back the next day, are you gonna need another PO number if you have to spend the money? Or is that all going to be a continuation? So you said that we wanna set this up so we're aware of what, say, a specific project costs. Is that gonna be under one PO, even if it continues into?
As far as the number of POs is concerned, it won't change that at all. There will still be the same request, the same thing. The only thing that we'll really do will be provide a electronic trail where you can generate reports on it.
So if you do this, if you're on the same job on the second day and you need to expend more funds, you're gonna have to get another PO.
Right now, you have to do that as well. That won't change.
My problem with that is if you're on the same job and you have to get another PO, what's the timeline on getting that PO? Is someone gonna be sitting there for an hour, 2 hours, while they're waiting for a new PO?
Well, the thing that I think would happen, Dawn, is, my feeling is you would not have to get another PO for the same job. But if you were going to, if you grossly underestimated costs, I think what you're talking about, for like materials or things like that, say the PO originally was $3,000, and $3,000 doesn't cut the job, if I'm understanding you correctly.
Yes.
And then it takes another 2,000, okay? You still can't, no matter the mechanisms we have in the city, you still can't go out and get the rest of the $2,000 unless you inform the director of the department.
Well, you would have to follow that timeline, but
Yes.
would there have to be another PO issued, or would just,
My feeling, no.
okay?
It stays on this, it should stay on the same PO, because it would be easy to track that way. It would be a nightmare to track different POs for the same project.
Yeah, yeah. And
So,
I
yes.
was just curious about that, because that seems to be very inefficient if you have to get, every time you have to get a PO for an ongoing project.
Nope, you're absolutely correct.
You
You
just
do have to
need
get
to have
approval,
permission.
though, for the additional funds.
Yeah, and that would go to, Delmar, I'm gonna pick on you. Delmar, say he's working on a catch basin, and he gets into it, it's worse than he thought it was, and he has to contact Rodney, who contacts Lois, who contacts Mike, who contacts
Me.
you, and then the chain of command. In the meantime, he's sitting there.
I don't assume it's going, it doesn't, I see your point, but right now, when people ask for a PO, I think we move it pretty darn quick. I mean, my phone is right on my hip 95% of the time, and if it comes down and it's an email's there and we need it, it gets questioned or approved right then and there.
Okay, well.
I can't think of, Delmar, be honest with me, can you think of anything that you requested that it took days to get approval?
I just picked on Belmont. Sorry, Dick.
Chief, let me ask, do you think? It's checks and balances, but the biggest thing that we'd like to pride ourselves in what we're trying to do is open the lines of communication. So everybody that's supposed to know, if it's an exuberant amount or if it's something major, we bring the rest of the council in on it on the email. So, and that's happened before.
Actually, I have a question.
Certainly.
You said that you would hope that the O would be a continuation of the old deal, that you would hope.
It would not require another PO.
You want to probably go back to the original.
Yes.
Who makes that determination?
The PO,
No, who makes the determination to make that call?
I do.
So you definitely then would say it would happen if they were working on a vacuum and a machine that he's running for 8 hours, and we continue another day, you fall back to that.
They would go to their supervisor, which is Rodney, and Rodney, if it's just a matter of communication, would go to the department head, which is Lois. And it could stay at Lois, for that matter, unless there would be some big monumental value involved. Then she would go to Mike.
Well, the original PO is stopped. You would write on it to be continued?
I don't think so, because Tamika, who generates the POs upstairs, would have no idea, knowing if that PO needed to continue.
I'm talking about the person who actually doing the work. He has to sign off on the PO with that. So if he's signing off, whether it's the chief or somebody in the city work, they would have to write something down saying that it's continued.
I would think that'd be, they don't sign off on a PO, they just initiate it.
Request.
Yes, and it's a request, and then they go on and do their job with whatever they need and materials to get approved. They don't have to come back to us. Now, they may have something internal that Delmar would go to Rodney and write out daily. He would probably do a daily report of what he did. It would just be in there. But it doesn't come back through us again and say, oh, is that okay? And he doesn't have to do anything like that.
What I'm saying is, I think we're on a different page. The person who did not finish the job, okay, let's say the job ran out of money or whatever, but it's not finished. And then you go back to the same old PO, okay? That's the person who knows that it's not finished. Does he sign off saying, to be finished at a later day on the PO?
I don't think he signs off. He would just let everybody else know he hasn't finished the job, or he or she hasn't finished the job, and they require more resources or funds to do the job. And at that time, that's when it's decided. What?
It should be written out by them saying it's not finished, so someone would have.
Yes, there'd be a notation on, probably in Tamika, saying there's additional requirements.
It makes sense.
I hope.
Oh, yeah. Since we are discussing Ninth Street Park and the water fountains or water source, are you gonna do the same with City Park? And is there water at Shawnee Park?
Well, first off, the CDBG money is what really controls that, and we only have money for one park this right now, that's Ninth Street Park. The next time we do CDBG, that can be an issue, yes.
But my question is there water at Shawnee Park?
And there is a concession stand, yes.
Well, we have a concession stand at City Park, but we're talking about Ninth Street Park where there is no concession stand.
Right.
Plus, where our pavilions are, there's not a water source there.
At Ninth Street Park?
City Park,
At City Park, you're right.
but there used to be there.
I don't know that.
Yeah, there was water fountains and water sources through City Park.
They've been shut off because of the damage that's been done to them over the years.
Okay, that's what
The
someone
piping
said.
is still there.
Yeah, I'm well aware of that, but my question is that when the Parks Department goes up to prepare for an event, how come you just can't reattach whatever you need to reattach
It's
to
not
have
quite
a
that
water
simple.
source?
It's not quite that simple.
I mean, you can't
there've
cap
been-
it and
there's-
uncap it and then put a little
You'd have to
whatever
get a
that is
plumber
on
in,
it?
or they'd have to take the time to actually set it up so they could do that.
So it have to be flushed and everything else too.
Yeah, the lines would have to be flushed. It's not just a simple turning something on and turning it off and draining it. Especially when there's damage.
Why would somebody damage a water source at a project?
It only takes 1 out of 10,000. Who knows why?
But could you do something like that, similar to where you can actually have a water source whenever there's an event or somebody rents a
It
pavilion
would be expensive.
and then close it back up?
It would be expensive to do it.
It'd have to be designed to be done that way, yes.
You can do anything if you spend the money.
Well, how expensive is it?
I couldn't
To
tell
do
you.
that.
I'm not a plumber. I'm a grave digger.
Well, the reason why I asked is because we recently did an event over in Palmer Park, and they have a water source.
They have a beautiful park there, don't they?
Yes, they do. Another question is, since our CDBG money, you know we only got 3 pavilions up at our city park. 3.
How often do they get used?
We probably get used every summer.
A few times every summer, yes. It was rare that all 3 of them were being used though.
Okay, well, my main question was the water source. And does Shawnee's get vandalized? Does their water source get vandalized? Hipple?
It's in the concession, yeah.
It's in the concessions, so.
I'll be honest with you, if it was me, I would never put a fountain in again. I would put a water
That's
bottle
what I'm
fill.
saying, a water.
I would put a
spigot.
bottle fill station in, something like that.
Yeah.
Because with the COVID-19 and the various,
That's basically what I meant.
I would
didn't mean
never-
a
I would
water
never put a
fountain.
water
Now you
fountain.
put it in, yeah.
That's what I meant, a
I
water
think most people
source.
just want a water source with, where you can fill
would
something.
have been,
Fill up a water
they
bottle.
also make, like on a refrigerator, you put your bottle underneath it and it fills it up.
Right.
I would put something like that in,
Yeah, I don't think anybody's actually wanting that fountain that they
No,
used
I
to
would
have
never
a long
put a
time ago.
fountain.
No.
just for health reasons.
Right.
Yeah, okay, but, yeah, all right, but it could be like a watershed, maybe, to where it'd be behind lock and key, except for when there's an event.
It would be nice, and that's why we need to make some improvements over the years.
Oh, yes, we do.
It takes time, it takes money.
But what I'm saying, when it was being moved, they should have thought about that and did something then. So I don't know how long it's been, it probably was years that there's not been a water source up there, probably when I was a little kid,
Probably correct.
and that's over 50 years.
That long? I can't find that.
No water.
That's unbelievable.
Is there anybody else have any comments?
I do if no one else does. We were informed that, one day this week, maybe Friday, is, Mayor Moser and Mrs. Bonnie's wedding anniversary. So,
Sunday.
yeah, we were told that the city hall staff, they put together a card and several gift cards and, a flower arrangement for the both of you. And they wanted me to read that on behalf of city council, our city treasurer, our city controller, and all of our city employees, especially the city hall team, Amy, Cheryl, Tamika, Marlene, Marvin, and Mike. They offer their congratulations on your upcoming wedding anniversary and many, many more years together of health, happiness, and prosperity. All the best and congratulations, and they ask that everybody have fun.
There's chocolate over there.
Congratulations.
Thank you, everybody, I do appreciate that.
Where's the catch?
Mayor, motion to adjourn tonight's meeting at 7:39, August 11th.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Meeting is adjourned.